What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. We had high hopes for Noah Fant coming to the team. Came in for a visit. We thought on paper it worked out. Turns out he's going to sign with Cincinnati. No word on the compensation yet. I don't believe it's a ton of money, but I do think Cincinnati is just a better fit for really any pass catcher. We just saw Jamar Chase have a triple crown, which means he led every stat for a receiver. We know what T. Higgins is, and he just got paid. Joe Burrow led the league in passing last year. It's hard to say, hey, kind of Miami, we have a good passing game when I can go to a team that objectively has a better passing game. But as a Dolphin fan, it's like, hey, what a situation that would have been if we somehow go through all this stuff, lose a tight end, re-sign a tight end, he's hurt, bring in Noah Fant, and now we end up with two tight ends that we kind of feel good about, basically for the same price as one. That would have been great, but um, didn't work out. I don't know if there are going to be more possible cuts. I mean, we're still in the teams haven't started cutting down their rosters yet, so there's still a possibility there will be someone on a team that is good that maybe got a little long in the tooth, maybe last year of a deal, maybe a rookie emerges and they're like, hey, we don't really need you anymore, and they let you go. And Dolphins hopefully will be right there, like because again, I think Darren Waller could be good, but if we can't reasonably think he's going to be a 16, 17 game tight end, he just hasn't been. So anything we can do to fortify that position, I'm down for. We thought Noah Fant could have been the guy, and it just didn't work out. I was disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you because I thought what a perfect fit, and you know he's right age, right temperament, speed. Oh, health. He plays all the games. Like it's a big deal. But hopefully we'll get the next one. I don't know how many good tight ends are even on the market. I see a couple have already been like extended, like Jake Ferguson and obviously others on the team. I'm still looking at Cole Komet. I got my eye. I'm just looking. I'm hearing that Loveland came in and took the job as a tight end one. I'm just hoping that he's like, hey man, if y'all don't play me, I'm out. I'm hoping. I know that offense can obviously have two tight ends. That's kind of Detroit's old system, which is what Chicago's new system is going to be. So I understand that they want to keep Cole around, but if Cole gets a little temperamental, Miami, keep your eyes open. So Tanner Connor is a long-standing Dolphins tight end. He's been actually on the team for 4 years. He is like third, fourth string tight end. If he's in the game, typically it's the block or special teams. He isn't someone we bring in to be serious in pass catching, but he's a good teammate. He's a good locker room guy, and he has insights on how the team is run. So recently, he was talking about the need to have people around the team who respect Coach McDaniel, and that over the last year, 2 years, guys who didn't respect Coach McDaniel are just not on the team anymore. So I'll give you his exact quote now. He said, Mike McDaniel hasn't changed at all. Dolphins fourth year tight end, Tanner Connor said earlier this week via Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. I think maybe the emphasis around him and respecting him more as players has changed, as we've gotten some players out who might have not been as respectful. The team is very bought in. They believe in Mike and what he wants to do. That makes sense to me. I mean, we talked about what's the Dolphins culture. Is Mike McDaniel too nice to the players? Is he not authoritative enough? I can easily see a scenario where it's like having a boss at work. Some of y'all can relate to this. If your boss is a little bit too chill, it's easy to like border on disrespect and not maybe hold them in the position that they deserve to be in. And if Coach McDaniel was more concerned with having good players around him and trying to keep people happy than he was about, hey, respect my authority, then I can see how people, especially like experienced, veterans, people who've already made money in the league, can kind of start talking with their chest out like, hey, I'm an all pro too. I'm better at my position than you are. I can see how it can get there. I haven't heard anything about outside of Jalen Ramsey, like legitimate disrespect amongst these players and like real outwardly negative energy. But I can see little snidey things like, hey, on the line, come on, coach, we doing that again? Just like just little snide talkbacks, little ways of breaking rules, little concessions here and there. I can see how that can happen. And if you do that, what you're demonstrating to people on the team who aren't those players is, hey, that's acceptable to some degree. And this is like a big Belichick thing when he played. He would go at Tom Brady as hard as he would go at anybody else because, hey, just so you know, if I'm coming at Tom Brady, I'm not doing this with y'all. Greg Popovich was notorious for going at Tim Duncan for the same reason. Tim Duncan is one of the best 10 players of all time. If I'm yelling at him about not getting back on defense, I don't want to hear about some six man say, Coach, I did my job. You talking back? Go sit on the bench. So this feels like maybe a not a culture shift. I know we use culture a lot and it becomes kind of watered down. It does just seem like, hey, we want to make sure the people who are here are all in. They're in the trenches. They're riding with us. They believe in the vision of coach, and they're going to like move forward with that. I think that's a good approach. And the team, I think you can build a good cohesive team around that. And if you have one or two people dissenting, like we're all moving forward, and you're just on the outside, like I ain't with that new stuff. I'm comfortable where I am. You undermine the team. I think it can just be like a little cancerous kind of person in the locker room. So, not saying I'm happy with all the guys we lost in the offseason. Like I like Javon, I like Jalen, but I guess it's the NFL. Things happen. We are a week out by the time you see this from preseason, the Dolphins' first game, and Tua has indicated that he is down to play in the preseason. Now, typically, preseason is for trimming down your roster, rookie players, players who haven't really quite shined yet, i.e., Cam Smith, to go out there and show us against other teams in a full game setting. A lot of the people you see in preseason will not make teams. Know that. Teams start out with like 90 people and they cut it down to 53. So legit 40% of people you see on the field are not going to make it. And you understand a lot of people that are not playing already on the team. So it could be 2/3 of the people on the field you say any given time are not going to make an active roster. But if you have young guys who are trying to prove themselves, i.e., Jonas Avenea, who hasn't been with the team as much because he was doing with the contract stuff, this is a good time to see him. But for Tua to say I want to get some snaps, I thought that was interesting because typically you don't really see starters until like the second to last or the last preseason game, and maybe you get a drive and then they get up out of there. There are a lot of teams like the Rams are one. I don't think Baltimore does it. I don't think Buffalo does. Philadelphia, I don't know if they're gonna do it either. Where they basically don't play any starters during the preseason. They're just like, hey, we're too valuable. We're a playoff or bust kind of team. Kansas City will randomly play Mahomes, and I don't know, is that just a psychological edge or if Mahomes just has that much clout that he can say, hey, put your franchise on the field against guys who will be financial advisors in 3 months. But shout out to Kansas City. They've obviously won a lot for that. But Tua basically indicated that I want to be out there and I don't think I'm above the guys who play in their preseason. And that again feels like a culture thing where I'm the quarterback, highest paid guy on the team, star of the team, we're number one, captain. And if I'm out there getting some snaps in, then you can be out here getting snaps in too. I'm not better than you, even though like I am. I'm better than you, but I'm not better than you. Better in the hierarchy, better in the paycheck. But also, let me get a couple reps against live teams. Maybe try some of the stuff I've been doing in training camp. We mentioned how too was experimenting with different throwing, not mechanics, but like angles and where he's placing passes. Like he's trying things in practice now that it's against us. So we're not gonna like really know what it's about. Let's bring that to a couple of preseason games to see does that translate a little bit. Again, this isn't the highest level competition generally, but it's different competition than the team already is. So there is value to that. I like this. I do not want him to play. Let me be 100% clear. I get to it being like, listen, I'm just one of you guys, man. I like preseason too. I'll go out there and get some snaps in. You better sit down. You better sit down. I don't want to see Tua nowhere near the field. We don't know how good our offensive line is yet. Tyreek's not going to be playing. We know Waddle's not playing. You might get Ollie Gordon out there, maybe. I don't want to see him behind a line that we don't know if it's good yet. You chill out into the year. We will find out against the Colts if our offensive line is good. We will not find out against a milkman. That's not a profession. I don't want you to find out against some second, third teamers or people who won't even make the team. Because we got young people out here trying to do their job, and you're the sacrificial lamb. Not here for it to it. Good sentiment. Love the energy. Leader, you my guy. Sit on the bench. I better see you with a dope Dolphins hat and a clipboard. Don't you come near that field. I better not see Tua. Tell you that right now. Coach McDaniel, if you put Tua on that field, that's malpractice. Plain and simple. Don't want to see it. Jumping back into the comments, and I've gotten a lot of comments about preseason because we just had the first preseason game, and now people are like excited. Football is, I guess, officially back, even though it's not back, but whatever, it's back. And so people have asked me like, what are you looking forward to in the preseason? I've already mentioned that I don't think the preseason is really a good indicator for how good your team is. I'm looking at the young guys on the offensive line and the secondary to just play. I want to see something pop. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see a guy on the field in the secondary, break on the ball, knock it down, look confident. I want to see them in bump and run coverage. I want to see, I don't know, someone make a play. I want to see. I just want to see kind of what those guys are doing, because I think if I'm the DC during preseason, I'm not obviously. I'm here on Dolphins Daily. I would make my corners play man during this time. Even though, we run zone and different concepts and we have different, things we'll unveil during the regular season. I want to see mano a mano, can you guard? That's what I'm looking for. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Storm. I don't care if it's Cam. I don't care if it's uh, any of the rookies. Like, if whoever it is, I want to see you on the field one on one. Because if you're in a zone, you're just kind of playing an area, which is not as easy as that sounds. But if someone catches the ball in the flat and you're just going to make a tackle, that's fine. That doesn't tell me whether or not you should be on the field for real. If I can see you guarding your man one on one, even if that person's not an NFL receiver, I can watch your technique. I can see if you get your hands on them, if you like redirect them, if you get your head back when the ball's in the air, if you make a play on the ball. I can see all those things. And if I see that, those are good intangibles. Then we'll build on that in the subsequent preseason games and say, hey, you look pretty good at these things, but now I want to see you do these things. I'm going to send you on a blitz. Like, so how good are you as a blitzing corner? Because that razor blitz is awesome. You just lined up, especially from the slot. Oh my God, the slot blitz kills quarterbacks because you lined up directly. So the slot receiver basically is right next to the tight end or the tackle, depending on what side of the line he's in. And as a DB, you're standing right in front of him, and you're squared up with him. And as soon as the snap comes, you just make a beeline to the quarterback. So the quarterback sees you in man. He's like, all right, cool. That guy's not blitzing. You can't tell it. You can't have your feet pointing toward the quarterback and stuff. But if you're lined up properly and that snap comes off and you just make a beeline to the quarterback, you typically can get the edge because the D end is going against the tackle. And so they're engaged. So you should be able, if you do it right, to get basically a free run. We get to see things like that on the film. Like, are you taking the right angles? Did you break your feet down properly? Did you make a right tackle? I'm looking for technique. I'm looking for pop. And I'm looking for, a little something extra. I assume you can get anyone that's, of the top 80, 90 people, whatever, who can play NFL quarterback. Can they play well is the question. That's my biggest thing. Can you play well enough, and do you have any upside? Because you just being like just a guy, that doesn't do anything for me. Like, in terms of being optimistic as a fan. If I see some intangibles where I say, yo, I saw them come at you 3 times, you got 2 pass breakups, and you know the third catch was an amazing catch by the receiver, but you were right there. That Hey, that's what I want to see. If I see someone getting beat on double moves, if I see people, not reading the coverages properly, then that will be probably concerning. So I'm looking more in the secondary because I think a lot of teams O and D linemen starters won't be playing, but I can see a lot of like number 3, 4, and 5 receivers playing because most teams have their number one, some have their number 1 and 2, but a number 3 spot for a lot of teams is actually up for grabs. So there are NFL receivers who I could be like for us, it could be Malik or it could be Nick, but I imagine both of them are going to play a lot in the preseason to determine who's the number 3. So if you're a defender, hey, I got to go against 2 teams' number 3 receivers, who on some teams could be number 2s, depending on how the team is set up. I'm looking to see what those guys can do out there because we are very thin to position. It is a wide open competition. If anybody emerges and steps up to the plate, you very well could be on the field day one starting for the Miami Dolphins, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. But as always, guys, that would do it for this episode of Dolphins Daily. I will actually be on vacation next week, but I'm going to tape some episodes ahead of time. They may not be as current because obviously I won't be able to tape. They may be a little bit shorter, but I don't want to not give you guys content. I want to keep this daily grind going. So next week's going to be a little bit off schedule, but we're still bringing you content because the show is called Dolphins Daily. So we got to give you some content. But next is going to be a little different. I'll be on vacation, going to visit the fam. But I'll be back in a week with some hot new news, and hopefully a lot of stuff goes down so I can come back with that fire and longer episodes, but we'll get to that in a second. As always, though, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.